So in our CSA, you're gonna have a bundle of dandelions. Now, if you're not able to work with these immediately, you can put them in the refrigerator to prevent some of the wilting and to keep the root from drying out too much. But basically, we're just gonna unwrap this, and there will be dirt on these because we're just harvesting them for you. So we're not gonna process them. And basically what you're gonna do here is you're gonna rinse off the roots. Now, if you wanna do this outside in a bucket to get the initial dirt off and then come back and scrub it, I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay, so here we have our root. We're running it under cold water. And we're gonna scrub this root nice and hard. Now, whatever brush you get, make that your herb brush, your root brush, and only use it for that. But you can see the big difference between when it is a dirty root and when we have started to clean it here. Now, if you're worried about dirt, you can take a food grater, or not a grater, I'm sorry, misspoke there. You can, peeler, wow, peeler. You could take a peeler to this. But after you get the root scrubbed, then you just rinse out. See, it looks like a lettuce or something, which is perfect for what we need in our bodies. This is so nutrient dense. So we're gonna clean it by making sure there's no dirt in the leaves, and then we're gonna pull off these little dead bits and make sure that all of our leaves look really good. And so we're gonna take off any that are dried or dead or browning, and make sure that we just have a nice clean plant here. All right, so when you're done with that, you're going to want to shake out the excess water, and you can pat these with a towel or a paper towel if you'd like. Now I'm going to show you the next step, but we've got this nice clean dandelion. The leaves are all clean and the root is all clean. Okay, so I'm just recording on a phone, so I don't have like a lot of high-tech equipment. Maybe one day we'll have some professional videos, but in order for me to get this root to the picture, I can't get my mug in the picture, or video rather. But I wanted to show you what I was doing because that's more important than you seeing my face. So with the root, typically what I do is I will cut it right at the base, okay? So there might be a bit of root left on there just to keep this all together. And then we have the root here. So with this, because I do keep the leaves and the roots separate, now if you just want to chop this up and use it in place of any green, we even make spinach. It would replace spinach, but we'll put it on pizza, in sandwiches, salads, whatever you like. But if you're going to dry it, because you're going to make medicinal preparations with it, then I would leave it just like this and place it on the dehydrator or whatever. It's just easier when you keep it like this. And then when it's dry, you can kind of crunch it up. And then I would take this last bit here and either compost it, or it just depends. I mean, these are going to be early, so they've got like the start of the flower in here. Some of them, the flower, you might have the stem and the flower with it. And you can use the flowers separately. You can also just pinch this off if you want, or you could steep it in a cup of tea and use it. I mean, so it doesn't go to waste. And then when it comes to the root, we're going to want to chop this up, because if it dries like this, it's going to be just a hard stick. Now, what I do, because I like my roots in chunks, is I actually will cut them up into these smaller pieces, and then I'll either put them in a high-powered blender or a food processor and chop them up into little bits. So this is the consistency that I'm looking for when I chop up the root. And the reason is because it is a lot easier to work with these little bits, especially if you're making a tincture or you're using it as a tisane. It's just going to be a lot easier to work with. So what I do is I spread it out on a dehydrator tray after it's nice and chopped up. And then when it's dry, you're going to store it in your jar, and you want to try to use it within a year.